Right now, there are dirt-cheap zero-turn mowers sitting on used lots, farm auctions, and dealer back rows that most buyers walk right past, even though many of them are tougher, stronger, and built to last far longer than the overpriced new machines people are financing in 2026. The market has become obsessed with fresh paint and new features, while a whole generation of genuinely bulletproof commercial-grade mowers has been quietly forgotten. So today we are looking at the zero turns nobody respects until they hit thousands of hard hours and still refuse to die. I dug deep into the engines, transmissions, build quality, and long-term ownership records of these overlooked machines, and some of them are absolute steals in the used market right now. Whether you are tired of replacing cheap residential mowers every few seasons, or trying to build a landscaping setup without draining your wallet, this video is for you. And trust me, the last mower on this list is almost impossible to kill. Now let's talk about the Gravely 260Z, the faded, heavy-frame mower sitting at the back of auction lots that most people ignore until someone checks the hydros, inspects the hoses, buys it for $500, and realizes they just brought home a machine capable of mowing for another 20 years with basic maintenance. Gravely doesn't get the credit it deserves. This is a company that was building commercial-grade outdoor equipment long before the big box brands figured out what zero-turn even meant. The 260Z was never a homeowner toy. It was built for professional use, designed to run hard every single season, and it shows in every single part of the machine. Let's get into the specs. The engine is either a 25 horsepower Kohler Command twin-cylinder or a 25 to 27 horsepower Kawasaki twin, depending on the model year. Both are full commercial-grade engines with cast-iron cylinder liners and serious low-end torque. The 60-inch cutting deck runs infinite height adjustment from 1 inch to 5 inches. The transmission is a full hydrostatic drive system, smooth, responsive, and built to handle all-day commercial work. Dual fuel tanks hold a combined 9 gallons, so you're not stopping to refuel every hour. Front tires run 15 by 6 by 6, rear tires are 23 by 10.5 by 12. The machine weighs around 1,100 pounds. That's not a residential mower wearing a commercial badge. Electric deck lift, pivoting front axle, seat suspension, safety interlock system on the PTO, parking brake, and steering levers. Hydraulic fluid and filter service every 500 hours. These are not the specs of a throwaway mower. This is a machine gravely built expecting you to put 2,000, even 3,000 hours on it. Used pricing today runs from $500 to $3,500, depending on condition, hours, and engine. Most people have never even heard of the country Clipper Jazee. You walk into a dealer, see Husqvarna, Gravely, or John Deere lined up in rows, and then there it is in the corner with a joystick instead of lap bars, ignored on first glance and dismissed just as fast. But that is exactly where the mistake happens, because the Jazee is quietly one of the smartest residential zero-turns ever built in America, and one of the most overlooked machines in its class. Country Clipper comes out of Corydon, Iowa, a small company with a small dealer network, but genuinely big ideas. They built zero turns without chasing shortcuts, without flimsy plastic body panels, and with features normally reserved for commercial machines costing far more. The Jazee runs a 22 to 24 horsepower Kohler Courage V-twin engine with 42, 48, and 52-inch deck options. Ground speed tops out at 7.5 miles per hour, fuel capacity sits at 4 gallons, and dual hydro gear EZT hydrostatic transaxles handle the drive system with smooth, proven performance. True zero-turn maneuverability and up to 3.9 acres per hour of coverage make it a serious residential mower, not a backyard toy. Now here is what really separates it. The deck is fully welded reinforced steel, not stamped, with a bullnose front, anti-scalp rollers, and massive 1 1/8-inch spindle shafts riding in cast-iron housings. 3 blades underneath a deep baffled deck deliver a cleaner, more even cut than most machines anywhere near this price. And then there is the patented stand-up deck system. The entire deck rotates upright and locks into place in under a minute for blade access and cleaning. The joystick steering is the other standout feature. One hand controls both speed and direction. It feels strange for about 20 minutes, then most owners never want lap bars again. Traditional dual levers were also available for buyers who preferred conventional controls. Used pricing today ranges from roughly $1,500 to $3,500 depending on condition and hours. Next is the Snapper 360Z, sitting right there beside Husqvarna, Toro, and Cub Cadet in the same price range and deck sizes, yet most buyers still walk right past it, and that single overlooked moment is exactly why this machine stays undervalued, underpriced, and showing up used on Craigslist for around $1,200, while everyone else argues over the next overpriced brand. Snapper has been in this business since 1951, and the 360Z carries that legacy into a commercially inspired residential zero-turn that punches far above its price tag. Here are the specs that matter. Engine options run from a 19-horsepower Briggs & Stratton EX series single-cylinder up to a 25-horsepower Briggs & Stratton PXI twin-cylinder at 724 cubic centimeters, all with ready start technology for consistent key turn starts. No choke, no fuss. Cutting widths come in 36, 42, and 52 inches. The deck is 12-gauge fabricated and welded steel construction. Cutting height adjusts from 1.5 inches to 4.5 inches through a foot-operated lift. Ground speed tops out at 7 miles per hour forward. Fuel capacity runs up to 3 gallons. The frame, front axle, and caster spindles are all reinforced steel with ball-bearing support, and the deck is frame-hung for added stability, giving the machine commercially inspired durability at a residential price. Transmission is Hydro Gear EZT dual hydrostatic transaxles, smooth and reliable for residential use, but still entry-level compared to commercial-grade ZT2800 or ZT3100 systems found on higher-tier machines, which is important to understand for long-term heavy use. One feature that sets this machine apart is the optional integrated rear cargo bed. It mounts directly to the frame, supports up to 50 pounds, and accepts standard UTV and ATV accessories, turning the mower into a true yard utility platform. It is backed by a 3-year residential warranty. Now, here is the honest part, and it matters. While the fabricated deck and frame are strong, some engine variants in this lineup use Briggs & Stratton components that include polymer-based internal parts like camshaft elements in certain configurations, which can become a weak point under high heat or poor maintenance over time. The EZT transaxles are also not designed for commercial workloads, and heavy or continuous use will shorten their lifespan compared to higher-tier hydro systems. Here is the bottom line. On a flat to gently rolling property up to 2 acres, a well-maintained Snapper 360Z will cut clean, run reliably, and outlast multiple budget zero turns with basic upkeep. Everybody knows the name Cub Cadet, but the Z-Force S, with that steering wheel sitting where the lap bars should be, that is the machine people look at sideways and walk right past. They see the wheel, they think it's a garden tractor dressed up like a zero-turn, and they move on. That right there is the mistake, because the Z-Force S is one of the most practical, most hill-capable, most genuinely useful residential zero-turns ever built at its price point, and used units are sitting at a fraction of what they cost new. Let's get into what this machine actually is. The Z-Force S ran in 48, 54, and 60-inch deck configurations. The 48-inch model runs a 24-horsepower Kohler professional-grade V-twin OHV engine. The deck is 11-gauge fabricated steel with 3 blades, electronic PTO engagement, and cut height adjustable from 1 inch to 4 inches in quarter-inch increments. The fuel tank holds 2.8 gallons. The frame is a heavy-duty 12-gauge reinforced, fully welded, one-piece full-length steel frame, not a lightweight residential skeleton. The front axle is fabricated and greasable. The machine weighs in at 722 pounds on the 48-inch version. Front tires run 13 by 5 by 6, rear tires 20 by 8 by 10. Transmission is the Hydro Gear ZT 2800 hydrostatic, reliable, proven and serviceable. Forward speed tops at 7 miles per hour. There is a built-in hour meter and a patented SmartJet high-pressure deck washing system built right into the frame. Now here is the thing that makes this machine genuinely different. That steering wheel is not a gimmick. It connects to Cub Cadet's patented synchro steer technology, which turns all 4 wheels simultaneously, front casters and rear drive wheels together, instead of just dragging the front casters like every standard zero-turn on the planet. When new, the Z-Force S retailed from $4,200 to $5,500, depending on deck size and engine configuration. Used today, you find clean units for $1,500 to $2,800. For a 12-gauge welded frame, fabricated 11-gauge steel deck, Kohler V-twin, hydro gear transmission, and that 4-wheel synchro steer system, that used price is almost embarrassing how good it is. Now I'll tell you the honest part straight, the way it deserves to be told. The Hydro Gear ZT 2800 transaxles on the standard Z-Force S are solid for residential use, but not sized for commercial hours. If you are putting heavy hours on this machine, step up to a Z-Force SX model, which runs the stronger Hydro Gear ZT 3100 units. That is a meaningful upgrade in long-term durability. The deck belt has drawn consistent feedback as a wear item that needs watching, especially on the 54 and 60-inch versions under load. Taking the number 1 spot, the Hustler Fastrak SDX. Most people see the Hustler Fastrak SDX beside a Husqvarna or Cub Cadet at similar money and assume it is the same kind of mower, same layout, same idea. That is the mistake. The Fastrak SDX is built like a true commercial machine hiding in the residential market, and the people who understand that are not selling theirs cheap. Hustler has been building zero turns in Heston, Kansas since 1964. They did not drift into zero turns from the lawn truck business. They helped invent the commercial zero-turn concept, and the Fastrak SDX still carries that bloodline in every part of the machine. Here are the specs straight. Engine options include 22 horsepower and 23.5 horsepower Kawasaki FX and FT series air-cooled V-twins with remote canister air filtration. The same commercial-style setup designed to survive heavy dust conditions. Deck sizes come in 48, 54, and 60 inches. The deck itself is 10-gauge welded fabricated steel with reinforced 11-gauge spindle mounts, aluminum spindles with 1-inch shafts and sealed ball bearings, plus a deep 5-inch shell that moves air and clippings cleanly every pass. 3 blades, electric PTO clutch engagement, foot-operated magnetic top-pin deck lift adjustable from 1.5 inches to 4.5 inches. The frame uses 1.5 by 3-inch fabricated steel tubing, dimensions Hustler uses on machines costing far more. Front caster forks are 3/8-inch fabricated steel. Transmission setup is dual Hydro Gear ZT 3400 units instead of the weaker ZT 3200 found in the standard Fastrak, and the 3400 is built for significantly harder use. Top speed reaches 9 miles per hour. Dual roto-molded fuel tanks hold a combined 8.5 gallons with dual mechanical fuel gauges. The seat is a high-back, full suspension unit with armrests, industrial tubular frame construction, and internal cushioning designed to reduce pressure on your spine during long mowing days. Hustler backs the machine with a 4-year or 1,000-hour limited warranty, while the frame and deck leading edge carry a limited lifetime warranty. New Hustler Fastrak SDX ranges from $5,500 to $7,200 depending on deck size and setup. Used units with honest hours usually sell between $2,500 and $4,500. And those are the zero-turn mowers that the market forgot and the land never did. Built heavier, engineered simpler, and proven over more hours than most new machines will ever see. These are the ones worth hunting down before someone else figures out what they have been missing. Look, videos like this one do not come from a dealership floor or a sponsored booth at a trade show. They come from honest research, real ownership data, and a genuine belief that the best tool for the job is not always the newest one on the lot. If one of these machines clicked for your operation today, drop it in the comments and tell me which one and why. I read every single one, and the conversation down there is always worth having. Still hunting for the right one, or need help identifying what to look for before you buy used? Tell me your situation and I will help you work through it. Hit that like button before you leave because it costs you nothing and it helps this channel keep producing the kind of content that protects your money instead of spending it for you.